Hey there, QuaranTeens. Here we are on day number 11 since President Trump and the federal government asked us to limit our social circles in order to stop the spread of coronavirus. And I hope that you've been using your time well, and with your new flexible schedule, I hope you've been using your time in order to draw closer to the Lord. I came across a story recently about a woman in Marshfield, Wisconsin, who is shopping at a Festival Foods. As the store manager was disinfecting the freezer door, she followed behind him, made eye contact with him, and proceeded to lick the freezer door handle. I came across another story about a social media influencer who wanted to start the hashtag coronavirus challenge trend, and she did so by pretending to lick a toilet seat on an airplane. During a time like this, I think that we would all agree that these are rude expressions of what some of us might be feeling. Some of us might be feeling at this point that maybe this thing is way overblown. Some of us might be looking at the numbers and wondering to ourselves whether or not everything we're doing is worth it. But one thing that we must not forget is that during a time like this, we are not called to be correct as much as we are called to be compassionate. In our haste to be statistically correct, we can forget about the nurse who recently went back to work and said goodbye to her family for the foreseeable future. We forget about the daughter who's not able to hold the hand of her mom or to say goodbye to her as she nears the end of her life infected by COVID-19. And for fear of spreading the virus, she's not able to say goodbye. And we must remember that the way to build a bridge to somebody's heart, like we talked about yesterday, is not going to be found in whether or not we're correct, but in whether or not we're compassionate. The psalmist wrote in Psalm 78:38, "Yet he, being full of compassion, forgave their iniquity and did not destroy them." And likewise, we are called to be compassionate. Jesus often calls us to be compassionate, particularly in the parable of the Good Samaritan. We're called to be compassionate on even those that we don't know. And so as all of us recognize that this is a crisis that presents an opportunity to share the gospel, let us all consider carefully what we communicate about this crisis. Let us not be filled so much with pride that we neglect to be compassionate with those that are hurting. God is faithful. God is good. He is in control, and may He use our compassion for people to reach the lost for Him. Thanks for joining us here on day number 11, and we hope to see you Monday.